Imagine that you live in the future. A future that didn't really go as planned, where a cataclysm destroyed almost all of the life on Earth, and the survivors got locked up in a giant tower ruled by ruthless dictators, and then by incompetent revolutionaries. This world needs peacekeepers. You become a mix of thousands of implants, originally made for people. A robot with a human soul, whose goal, for the unforeseeable future, is to protect ones who can't protect themselves. Welcome, people of the internet. It's me, KMD. I am back again, this time to talk about the only potential licensed survivor that I dream to join the roster. I am talking about the one and only Jack GR74, better known as the Ghostrunner. Yeah, so Jack is definitely a weird pick for a DBD survivor, but hear me out. A first ever transhuman survivor whose willingness to save others no matter the cost would surely be an interesting choice for a part of the roster. But wait a second, most of the gaming community is not even aware of this franchise for some bizarre reason, so let me fill you in. Also, a quick warning, this video contains spoilers for the Ghostrunner franchise. If you're interested in the technical part of the half chapter, like the perks or licensing, skip over the story part using the video chapters. Ghostrunner is an action first-person slasher runner franchise developed by One More Level and published by 505 Games, set in a cyberpunk world. You play as Ghostrunner 74, a soldier of this special unit in the Dharma Tower, a mix of robotic human implants. They are machines with enhanced senses, able to make lightning-fast movements, disappear in seconds, and fight with a katana better than most of the old samurai. An AI in your head, called the Architect, tasks you with slaying the ruthless dictator, the Keymaster Mara, at the top of the tower. During your way, you engage with her soldiers, but also meet allies in the resistance forces called the Climbers, represented by Zoe, who reveals that you were rebuilt by them after Mara activated a kill switch that turned all Ghostrunners off. She also gave you a name, Jack, reference to the fact that your body was, quote, jacked up. Zoe seems to be the reason for the wake up of Jack's emotions and his feeling of independence. After you eventually kill Mara, the Architect betrays you, and following his philosophy, attempts to discard a tool that is no longer useful. Eventually, you kill him instead, but sadly, without the Architect and his cyber void, you cannot exist, rendering Jack disabled. Fast forward a year after, Climbers led by Connor took over Dharma and have found a way to bring you back to life. However, it is not only their accomplishment. The original four Ghostrunners, Rahu, Madhu, Ahriman and Mitra, called the Ashura, have come back and created the new Cyber Void. Their goal is to take revenge on Mara and the Architect, or more accurately his human form, Adam Mahada, and since they are dead, they are planning to take control of the tower. In a duel, with the help of the reformed General Adrian Bakunin, you defeat Ahriman, who to save his honor, commits seppuku. After that, you discover a Church of the Architect, which is connected to the Ashura. With the help of Kira, a reformed right-hand woman of Mara, you are able to enter the Cathedra, inside of which you get pulled into the Cyber Void after fighting Architect to fight against Rahu, was impersonating him all this time to make cultists more willing to listen to him. And eventually, you take his head that contains him in the real world. During a meeting in the Climber HQ, to talk about the head and the course of action, Connor gets killed by Mitra, and the head gets stolen. Jack chases after the leader of the Ashura, eventually finding a bike, and leaving the tower to chase him down, discovering the state of the outside. After some, silly shenanigans, Jack finds Rahu again and gets sucked into the Cyber Void again, this time for 2 in real life weeks. The Ghostrunner forms an alliance with Rahu, who starts to question Mitra's plan. Making it back to the tower, Jack discovers that the Ashura have launched an invasion to take over the building. This eventually leads to the duel with Madhu, whose battle is the most performance-heavy part of the game. In the finale of the franchise, you face Mitra and eventually decapitate him. After that, Jack decides to leave Dharma to live on his own. So, to summarize, Jack is an independence-seeking character that has experience in combat. Additionally, he is prioritizing the good of others over himself and his objectives. One of the biggest examples of that is shown in his decision to stop the ventilation system shutdown instead of proceeding the mission in the first game. You can say that in some ways, Jack is a robotic version of Bill. However, I think that Jack is still different from him, since he is a robot that isn't like that from the beginning of his life, but he gained this through the development and the gain of humanity, thanks to Zoe. We went through Jack's story and character. Now I want to see if the half chapter could realistically happen in Dead by Daylight in the legal world. The Ghostrunner IP is owned by the franchise's publisher, 505 Games, which is owned by Digital Bros. 505 is probably one of the biggest publishers in the industry, but I found it difficult to find a connection between them and Behavior. I mean, they published Payday 2, which had some bonuses with DBD when it was released by Starbreeze. They have Death Stranding, which is most likely on the radar of Behavior. Oh, and they published these two small games of this little franchise called Naughty Bear. Yeah, one of the first Behavior franchises that was recently included as a skin in DBD. Behavior most likely has a great connection with 505, so licensing Ghostrunner to the game would not be impossible. Now we got all done with the meritorious stuff, time for you to check out my concept for Jack's perks. Let me know what you think. Let them know. You're willing to sacrifice yourself for others. While a survivor is in chase, press the activate ability button to reveal your aura to the killer, gain the expose status effect, and grant the chase survivor the endurance status effect. This effect lasts for 5, 10 or 15 seconds depending on the tier, after which the perk deactivates for the rest of the trial. Forget the past. You will ensure the safety of your friends, no matter the consequences. After unhooking a survivor, they are instantly healed. Your health state is lowered by 1, and all of the survivor's status effects are transferred to you. However, your repair speed is increased by 10, 20 or 30% for 60 seconds. This perk has a 60, 50, 40 second cooldown. Access denied. If you cannot fight the enemy, slow him down. During chase, press the activate ability button to instantly repair a breakable wall that is within 5 meters of you. This perk has a 100, 80 or 60 second cooldown. Ghostrunner is a franchise that is really close to my heart. It is most likely my favorite single player franchise of all time that was covered by the hype of Cyberpunk 2077. Seeing it come to Dead by Daylight will revolutionize the character roster, opening the possibility for non-human humanoid survivors. Thank you guys for giving me your time to ramble about my latest hyperfixation. If you enjoyed it, you know what buttons to press. I am excited to see what is coming to the game and my channel in the future, and I hope you follow me on this journey. Good night, Tri-Realm area.